Hello lovely yoga people, and welcome to this week's video. So this video is one in a series of about 12 that I'm going to be making, which are to do with cultivating prana, universal life force. So trying to bring more of it into the body and keep it there. Today we're working specifically with stretching and strengthening the legs. And we are also going to be working with some mudras. This is one of them, and I'm going to show you another. And I'm going to be talking to you a little bit about the koshas, which are the energetic layers of the body. So first of all, let's just close the eyes or lower the gaze, come into a nice quiet, comfortable seat, bringing the awareness into the nose and just feeling the breath moving gently in and out through the nose. So you can keep your eyes closed and see if you can keep your awareness on the breath moving in and out through the nose while I talk a little bit about these various things. So the koshas are they're energetic layers that obviously are not ones that we can see, that sit in and on the body. And the two that we're concerned with are the Annamaya kosha, which is the first layer, which is actually to do with the physical body. And this is to do with how we nourish and feed our body, exercising well, sleeping well, eating the right foods, that kind of thing. And this energetic layer is the one that feeds all the others. So Anna in Sanskrit means food. So it's partly to do with the food that we eat, but it's also to do with how this kosha nourishes the others. So the next kosha that we're interested in is called the Pranamaya kosha. So you recognise the word prana as we've been using it, universal life force. So this kosha, this layer, the second layer, is seen as being made up of prana, made up of universal life force. So we're going to be thinking about this layer today and working with the idea of using our breath to bring more prana into the Pranamaya kosha. So we're also going to be using some mudras. So you can open your eyes if they're still closed so as that you can see what I'm doing. And this mudra, which I've been holding here, is a mudra that is used for, particularly for bringing energy into the root chakra or the pelvic floor. And we've been working with the Mula Bandha, which is the muscles of the pelvic floor. So we can use this mudra. So this is the little finger and the middle finger pressed very gently against the thumb, the pad of the thumb, and the two other fingers, so the middle finger and the index finger, put together and pointing straight out, and they can just be held on the body or in the air, wherever you want. And we can just practice using our Mula Bandha, so this is engaging the muscles of the pelvic floor as we exhale and holding this mudra. It can feel a little bit strange to begin with, and maybe you might even be getting a sensation of kind of, but just being with it, only just for a few breaths. We'll do 4 or 5 breaths. So on the exhale, engaging the Mula Bandha and just seeing if you can stretch a little bit deeper, so just taking those fingers out away a little bit deeper. I can really feel my hands working here. Mudras are meant to be really, really amazing for bringing health and vitality to our whole being. Beautiful. So the next mudra that we're going to work with is one where we take the fingers like this. So we interlace the fingers and make this kind of church and steeple effect, like I do when I do the alternate nostril breathing with that. But instead of having the thumbs going over themselves like that, we've got the pads of the thumbs together, and we're trying to kind of take them away and point them down, while also pushing the lower knuckles of those forefingers together. So we've got this sort of open shape there, but then what we're trying to do is to bring that open shape to the heart chakra. So I've got the index fingers pointing upwards towards the sky, and my thumbs are together and pointing downwards. And so this is a really beautiful mudra that we can use for cultivating prana. That's what it's meant to be for. It's for really helping us to bring prana into the body. So as we exhale, using the Mula Bandha, here we're using this mudra, and as we inhale, just feeling the prana or imagining the prana moving into the body. Beautiful. So we'll be coming back to those mudras at various points in the practice. But to begin with, we're going to come and lie down on our backs to start the physical practice. So lying down on the back with the soles of the feet on the floor and the pelvis nice and dropping into the floor, shoulders dropping into the floor, palms of the hands facing downwards, back of the head dropping into the floor. Maybe just lift the head a little bit, tuck the chin and drop the head down, making sure that the throat is nice and open. And we're just going to work with a couple of pelvic tilts to begin. So inhaling, and as you exhale, Mula Bandha as you drop the lower spine down into the ground. Inhaling, coming back to the natural shape, prana moving into the body. So we'll do that once more. Exhaling, Mula Bandha, dropping the lower spine into the ground. So the next time you do this, you could, on the inhale, you could bring the arms up into the equation. So as we inhale, opening the chest, opening the lungs, the arms come up to touch the ground behind us. Exhaling, Mula Bandha, lower spine dropping down to the ground. Inhaling up, beautiful. Exhaling, we'll do that once more. Inhaling, arms coming up to touch the ground behind. And then the hands coming back down to rest beside the body. So then from here we can bring the arms out at shoulder height along the ground, and we've got feet behind the bottom about hip width apart. We're just going to let the knees roll one way and then breathing in and let them roll the other way, just going to where you can. Beautiful. Maybe taking a sigh out on the exhale. Wonderful. So from here we can bring the arms back down to the sides, and we're going to start doing some work with the legs. So we've got the heels nice and behind the bottom, and we're going to inhale, bring one knee up into the chest, it doesn't matter which one you do, and then as you exhale, take that foot up towards the sky. See if you can straighten the leg with the sole of the foot facing towards the ceiling, pushing through the heel. And then inhaling, bending the knee first, and then coming back down. We'll do that same thing on the other side. Inhaling, bringing the knee in. exhaling, taking the sole of the foot to the floor, pushing through the heel. Inhaling, coming back down. Exhaling, taking the foot to the floor. So just working with that in your own time, at your own pace, with your own breath, feeling how this is really opening the back of the leg as you push through the heel at the top. And it's also just beginning to bring some movement into the legs, waking up the legs a little bit, getting them moving. Beautiful. So once more each side. And then coming down quietly, landing with the feet behind the bottom. And from here we're just going to bring the feet out slightly, very slightly, so they're still hip width apart, but maybe just to the outside of the hip joints. Hands down by the sides, and we're going to start to work with the bridge, but we've got slightly wider legs than I would normally do. So from here, we're going to inhale and then exhale, dropping the lower spine into the ground. And then as we inhale, curling up the tailbone, bringing the hips up to wherever it is they go. And then dropping back down on the exhale, taking the lower spine all the way to the ground. You can have a resting breath here. Doing that again, so exhale, dropping the lower spine, inhale, curling up the tailbones. This time you could begin to bring the arms up into the equation if you want to, and then coming back down. So working with that a couple more times in your own time. So exhaling, lower spine, inhaling up, just doing this as, don't follow me, just doing it in your own time. Making sure that even though the legs are a little bit wider than normal, that they're not splaying out to the sides as you come up and raise the hips up. Make sure they're staying aligned with the hips. Beautiful. So coming back down, just adjusting the feet because they may have moved a little bit, but making sure that they're behind the bottom, about a wide hip width apart. And then from here, what we're going to do is we're going to keep the feet where they are, but drop the knees together. So the knees are actually touching here. And from here, we're going to do the same thing, but try and keep the knees together. So exhale, dropping the spine to the floor. Inhaling, raising the hips up, bringing the arms up, seeing if you can keep the knees together. See how that feels. It works into the tops of the legs a lot more. So we'll do that for maybe 2 more times together. Trying to stay as relaxed as you can at the same time. It's a lot harder, I think, doing this, and then coming back down. I'm just going to adjust my position a bit because I feel like I've moved up the mat a bit. So getting yourself back into this position, and then what we're going to do is we're going to start to alternate this. So we're going to come up with the legs apart, doing with the arms coming up and coming back down. Then when we come down, we're going to bring the knees together and do the same thing with the knees together. So we'll do it about 4 times. So 2 of each. 2 with the knees apart and 2 with the knees together. Okay, so beginning by exhaling, lowering the lower spine, knees are apart. Inhale, raising up. Exhaling down, dropping the lower spine to the ground. Beautiful. Dropping the knees in together and inhaling, raising up. Exhale, dropping down. So bringing the knees so they're apart And inhaling, raising the hips, making sure the knees aren't actually splaying out to the side. Exhaling down. And then the last one with the knees together. Inhaling, curling up the tailbone. And exhale, dropping back down. Wonderful. So bring the knees up into the chest. Have a little bit of a rock around on the back. And then come back down to the resting position. So from here, I'm going to invite you to come up and join me in an all fours position. So I've got a nice blanket laid across my mat to pad my knees. So you're welcome to get one of those. And I've also got my toes tucked and I'm sitting in the toe squat here just for a few moments, not going to be here very long, but just to give my toes a little bit of toe gym, to give them a little bit of a stretch, invite some vitality into the toes. Beautiful. So then we're going to come forward into our all four position. So I've got my hands slightly in front of the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. We're just going to do a couple of cat and cows. So inhaling, looking forwards, taking the spine to the floor. Exhaling, looking between the knees, taking the spine to the ceiling. We'll do a couple more of those. So then we're going to come back to a neutral spine, looking between the thumbs. And then I'm going to invite you to take one foot back, it doesn't matter which one you do, making sure you've got the mat under it, toes tucked, and we're going to gently push back into the heel, opening the hamstring, pushing back through the back of that leg, and then we'll just swap over, do it on the other side. Beautiful. And then from here we're going to tuck toes and we're going to gently raise up into the dog. So bringing the heels up, knees nice and bent, adjusting the feet so they're about hip width apart. And I'm coming up onto my toes first, so I'm reaching up as high as I can. And then I'm going to gently drop the heels down, keeping the knees slightly bent, sending my weight through all corners of my hands, all of the fingers, but particularly the thumbs and forefinger. And then from here I'm going to do a little bit of walking the dog, so taking one heel down and coming up to the top and then swapping and going the other way. So this is really good, it's really exercising the feet and the legs. Beautiful. So then we're going to come back to our neutral position. Still, I'm taking my heels a bit further down, but I'm still keeping my legs slightly bent. And if you need to rest, please come down and rest for a while. Or you can raise one leg. I'm doing the right leg here. And then I'm going to bend it, take it kind of behind me and look up under the armpit. Coming back round, dropping that leg down, and I'm just going to do the same thing on the other side. So raising the other foot up, bending it over behind me, looking up under that armpit. Coming back round, and then dropping the knees down, and we can give ourselves a nice palm massage here with the thumbs. And then take the knees nice and wide, dropping down into the child, and we'll take some big sighs out here. So from here, we're going to find our way to a comfortable seated position for some breathing. So as I've been doing for the last few weeks on these videos, I'm not going to actually go through the breathing, the whole thing. I'm just going to talk you through how to do it and then invite you to pause the video, do the breathing for 5 or 10 minutes and then come back and continue. So we're going to be using this mudra that we worked with at the beginning. So this is the ring finger, middle finger, just gently touching the pad of the thumb, and the other 2 fingers spread out nice and long, and we can have these just gently resting on the body. We're going to work with the Nadi Shodhana, which is the alternate nostril breathing, but we're not going to do the mudra on here. We're just going to hold this mudra because this is really, really good for the root chakra, and I'm going to invite you to, while you're doing the breathing, to be engaging the muscles of the pelvic floor, the Mula Bandha, which this mudra is really good for supporting and helping. So we're going to, in our minds, breathe in through the left nostril, and as you exhale out through the right nostril, engage the Mula Bandha. Let go of the Mula Bandha as you inhale through the right nostril, and exhale through the left, engaging the Mula Bandha. So that's one cycle. I'll do that with you once more. So inhaling through the left nostril, exhaling through the right, engaging the Mula Bandha. Letting go, inhaling through the right, and exhale Mula Bandha through the left nostril. So pause the video for 5 or 10 minutes, do that breathing practice, and then come back to join me for the last bit of the video. Okay, so I'm back in my toe squat here, just taking a moment to exercise my toes again, and we're going to just do a few bits in kneeling and the lunge. So I've got my nice padding here as usual, so do get padding if you need it. So we're going to begin by coming up into high kneeling, and I'm going to invite you to step forward with one leg. It doesn't really matter which one you do. A nice generous step forward, so that when we lunge forward, you've got this nice alignment and you're not ending up like that. That's something for this part of the leg, which we could do, but we're not doing that today. So lunging forward, and then we're going to bring the hands down one either side of this foot, and then coming back into the half splits, rolling on that heel, opening the back of that leg again. And then we're going to come forwards again, and we're going to come back up, and I'm going to invite you to bring back in the church and steeple mudra with the 4 fingers going up, thumbs together pointing down in the centre of the heart, so the elbows are coming out to the sides. We're lunging forward, we've got the back toes tucked, and what we're going to try and do is we're going to try and raise up. So this is quite hard. It might be that you don't come very far. So, okay. So I've got the back toes tucked, and I'm going to inhale. On the exhale, I'm going to engage the Mula Bandha and see if I can lift the back knee. And coming down on the inhale. Raising up on the exhale, Mula Bandha, and inhale, coming down. We do that once more. And inhale, coming down. Well done. So we can just come gently back to the toe squat, being there for a moment, having a rest down in child pose if you want to, but I'm going to come back through the other way. So again, generous step forward, taking a lunge forward, dropping down into the dragon, moving back into the half splits, rolling back on that heel, coming forward again, And then bringing our church and steeple mudra again into the heart. And again, it might be really different on this side. So back toes are tucked, pressing through the front foot and the back foot. Inhaling, exhale, coming up into this high lunge and inhaling down. Exhaling up, Mula Bandha, inhaling down. One more time, inhaling up and exhaling down. Well done, and coming back, coming back through the toe squat. So if you come and join me in the class, we'll be doing a couple more postures on from this, but we haven't got time to do them here. So we're going to come down and do some counter poses. So in fact, we're coming from sitting. We're going to do a couple of twists. So I'm going to invite you to raise the arms up above the head and exhale, bringing opposite hand to knee. It doesn't really matter which way you go. Other hand behind, looking to the side, raising up through the crown and then exhaling into the twist. Take a couple more breaths here. So as you inhale, moving slightly out, exhaling in. Then we're going to come back through centre, raising the arms up and going the other way. So the same thing here. Inhaling, coming slightly out, exhaling, moving into the twist. And bringing the arms up and the hands coming down. Beautiful. So now we're going to take one leg out to the side and the other knee is bent. I need to have my ball underneath my bad knee here. So I've got the sole of my foot towards this thigh, and so I'm going to move my body so that my chest is facing over this leg. So it is a bit like another gentle twist. And we're just going to take the hands to wherever they go. They might go on the leg, on the floor, and just gently moving yourself down, trying to keep the back straight to begin with, and then allowing the head to drop down. So from here, I'm going to try and bring this knee so it's coming forward straight from here. Bring the other leg and see if I can bring it over. Now if that's too much, you can just keep it there. So work with what's right for you. And then we're going to take the opposite arm or hand around this leg and coming gently again into a little twist. Couple of breaths there. And then we're just going to do the whole thing on the other side. So taking the other leg out, this leg bent, turning the body round so I'm facing over this leg, and just bringing my hands gently to wherever they go, and then allowing the head to drop down. And then from here, raising up, bringing this knee so it comes, so it's pointing forwards, and either keeping that knee there, or if it's comfortable to have it over the other side, opposite hand or arm round, and again breathing. Lovely. So I'm going to invite you now to come down and meet me in Shavasana. So I've got my feet about mat width apart, arms down by the sides with the palms facing up, slightly away from the body. I can just lift my head, tuck the chin, and then drop the head down again, making sure that the chin is slightly tucked. And just letting go. Nothing to do, nowhere to go, Spend a few minutes here. Don't move just because I do. Shavasana, the most important pose of the whole practice. So I've got my beautiful mudra here. Thank you so much for joining me. Hope you've enjoyed the practice. And if you want to support me, you can give me a thumbs up, you can subscribe to my channel, make a comment, that's always really good. And if you want to donate, the email is at the end of the video and you can contact me and I can give you details as to how to do that. Thank you so much. Namaste.